Hi, I'm Sexy Danny 21 Austin. I'm here today with Spider Jack Angel.
Hi everyone.
And today we're reviewing the final DLC for The Evil Within, The Executioner. So let's start off with Spider Jack Angel. What did you think of The Executioner?
Well, I'd probably say the game, the last DLC, is less intense than the first two. I mean, this one is actually really quite easy until you get to the last boss in the game. And I do have to say, some of the bosses that were really challenging in the video game main story are less challenging in this DLC. But however, there are a couple things this DLC actually does do that makes you, really glad it does. Like, for instance, one of the things that both me and you complained about when we played the main storyline was the fact that when Sebastian uses the chainsaw to open up the gate, he doesn't keep the chainsaw. Well, the Executioner, the storyline of the Executioner, I would say, is okay. It's not nearly as evolved as the first two DLCs. I mean, the first two DLCs very much linked to the main storyline of the first game, and basically the last DLC basically does relatively link to it, but it's not nearly as memorable as the first two DLCs. And the first two DLCs were really memorable because they were really intense. They switched up the gameplay to being a third-person survival/stealth game. And this one basically is a first-person kill-all type game. And it's okay. The bosses are really easy until you get to the last boss, which is a pain in the ass. And, really is a big test of patience, because the fact that when you get to the last boss in the game is basically another Executioner. And basically when you fight him, first time you fight him, he's not that challenging. Second time, when he gets up, he's a little bit more challenging, and then the third time when he gets up, after we have to kill him the last time, that is the pain in the ass. Because he summons these hands that come out of the ground, and if those hands touch you, if you have enough health, they won't kill you, but they will take you to the point of death. And so next time, regardless of how far you may be from those hands, if those hands even touch you a little bit, you would die. And
you could have
really
full health
to basically locate the Executioner when you're looking for him. But however, it took me roughly about 2 hours to beat him because I kept dying a lot. I probably died on him probably the most. I'd probably say at least 60. When Austin a call, I'm going to talk to him, and then maybe try to go about beating him. And I did beat him. I even think if I remember correctly, I think I beat him when I was talking to you. And,
and then it was my turn, and it took me 2 weeks, remember?
Which I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because when you get to that last boss, it's basically like the most test of patience you could ever have, because he's not as hard as let's say the boss in Resident Evil Revelations. He's not that hard, but the way he basically can get the upper hand on you with those hands is really frustrating.
He sicks his dog on you. It's like his death dog or something. Those are his little puppy hands.
And the bad thing is that whichever way the hands are coming, that's more.
Yeah, and then once you get past the hands, then you'll be like, oh shit, now I gotta kill him.
But what? The funny thing is, once I located him, I was just like, oh no. No, you're not. You're not going to get away from me. Either I'm going to die here freaking trying to kill you like a man, or I'm basically gonna get you down to the point where I'm just gonna chase your ass.
Out of curiosity, how did you murder him? What weapon did you use?
I mostly use the hammer.
I went with chainsaw. But at the end I was just chainsawing the shit out of him.
Oh, speaking of chainsaws, I felt like I was reenacting the part at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with Dennis Hopper, where basically he takes on Leatherface with a chainsaw, because there's one boss, I believe it's the one with the rocket launcher, and yes,
Yeah.
you do get to pick up the rocket launcher in this DLC, which is also really cool. But when you face him, and he give you a motherfucking chainsaw fight, then it was just pain to both of us just charging at one another, knocking each other back. I'm just like, I'm gonna kill you with the chainsaw, you're gonna kill me with the chainsaw. Whatever way this goes, I'm 100% committed with this. And I killed him.
And don't forget the giant troll dude with the big
he's
hammer.
Easy. I thought he was very easy.
He took me a little while because I didn't get that you had to use all those little guns to shoot him with, you know?
Well, what I did when I beat him is I basically, I think I just used like the hammer or the chainsaw to basically kill the zombie mutated creatures that come after you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just basically used the chainsaw for that, and then just basically used the guns on him. I mean,
I'm gonna go with a 6 out of 10. Also, I think it was cool to feel very powerful at the beginning of this DLC, but when you get
only to become the other executioner's little bitch at the end.
Yeah, then you're like, oh shit. But you know, I think the one thing that this DLC lacked, but the first two had something special because they actually had a story where this one didn't have like any story really. You know what I mean? Like it had somewhat of a story, but it didn't really explain itself.
Well, I would say I'm probably gonna get a little heat for this. So.
Okay.
But all three of these DLCs were much more better than one little story. You check out those two DLCs. The only one that roughly does, I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was it wasn't Jimmy's Vendetta. That one had the least. Whichever was the one where you play as the I think it was Joey, like whichever one was the one where basically you played as the one guy who always goes with you on the missions and the Mafia 2, you know, that's the one that's okay, but however, you know, like the Mafia 2 DLCs didn't really have a lot of storyline with it. But the Evil Within, I believe,
it shows us that he has a daughter, and his daughter's holding his hand, and then freaking whatever, and you're just like, come on!
That's a metaphor shit right there.
You know what I mean? Like, didn't you at least want to know who the hell the Boxman was? Just a little bit of curiosity.
Who the Boxman was?
Yeah.
I think some things are basically left up to interpretation being good.
Do you think in the Evil Within 2 that perhaps they'll actually reveal who the Boxman actually was?
No.
No, you don't think they'll ever go back to that character and explore more of it?
Oh, I believe they will go back to the character. I just don't think it within the Evil Within 2 that they were basically, you know, fully explore it the storyline wise. I think Evil Within 2 basically is going to focus either on the girl or it's going to focus on Sebastian again.
But if they ever get another DLC and it's
that's when. But
yeah,
I actually would not be surprised if Evil Within 2 like focus more on Ruvik for the DLC.
Oh yeah,
Because we got a lot of explanation for his character when we played the DLC, which was very good.
Yeah, you know, I was surprised that he didn't get a DLC and that the Executioner did. But maybe we'll get that in the next game.
Well, let's be fair. If he got a DLC, yeah, It would basically
Be super
be
easy.
what?
It'd be super easy if you were Ruvik.
Well, everybody would basically be living out their Freddy fantasy if he got a DLC. Seriously, the dude got Ruben gets freaking burned alive in his childhood. Just like
And it's played by Freddy Krueger. That's why it's
played
bad.
by-
It's the same story. So would you?
I would love a Rubik DLC. Tell you the truth.
So would you recommend getting this DLC though?
I'd recommend getting the season pass so you can get all 3 DLCs because the first 2 were really good in terms of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say if you're gonna get this DLC, buy it as a package. Don't buy it separately because this one by itself won't be that fun. But if you play the first 2 DLCs, it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's our review, and have an awesome night.
See y'all later.